What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 212 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. My name's Dave McCrae, coming to you live from the Voice Man Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. And tonight, we're talking Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, celebrating 40 years this year. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! 40 years. 40 years was released, I believe, Tony, I think it was August the 1st, 1986.
1986.
August the 1st, 1986. Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Arguably, between Friday the 13th 6 and Friday the 13th 4, you also throw Part 2 in there. That's the fan. People love Friday the 13th Part 6, I think, is the Elm Street 3 of the Friday the 13th franchise. You know, a little MTV, a little kind of, changing tone. But here it is, 40 years this year. Hard to believe. How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing? How you been?
I'm doing all right. Summer's here. July 1st, which is Canada Day, our 4th of July is just around the corner. And then, of course, the literal 4th of July is this coming weekend, next weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to believe. We're in the thick of summer now, and it wouldn't be summer without a little Jason Voorhees.
I'm ready.
And well, fall is my favorite time of year.
It's just hot.
So
it's just like you can't even go outside without man, this sucks. It's just, you can't even enjoy it. It's just
no, you can't. And for those of you who are regular viewers, you might notice that Tony's reception and quality is a little better today. That knock on wood. That's right. But you upgraded your system, and
no, I didn't knock on wood. I was doing like the little piano roll.
Right, gotcha.
I keep forgetting you can't hear when I play it.
I can't hear it.
Yeah.
But if you want to bring that in, you could always do that. But no, you updated your system recently, long overdue, and now things are
overdue, like way overdue.
Yeah, things are running a lot smoother. And you don't live that far. I mean, let's talk about this. Friday the 13th, Part 6. Let's talk about, first of all, how do you feel about the movie? Friday the 13th, Part 6. Where does it fall for you in the Friday the 13th franchise? Is it one of your favorites? Has it grown? Has it moved up? Has it kind of stayed the same, moved down? What do you think of the movie?
Pretty much the same. I mean, the only ones I really watch in the franchise, it's kind of like Halloween as well. I watch 1, 2. I do watch 5 because 5 has grown on me over the years.
Right.
And then 6 as well. And if I'm feeling 3 and 4, I never really go past 6.
Yeah.
In the franchise, it's kind of like Halloween 4. Halloween 4 kind of ends it for me there. And whatnot. And then with 6, 6 is just one of those in the franchise, man, where I just, I don't know. It's just one of those that it's next to 5 on paper. Well, first of all, 6 has got a lot of elements to it that I like. It's you're at a camp, you've got kids, you've got counselors. So I think it's the only, as of right now, we don't know what Crystal Lake is going to do. Why can't I hear myself? I hear feedback.
You can't hear? You hear yourself?
Yeah.
You sound fantastic on this end.
It's a little feedback. I wonder if it's from
maybe it's from my mic. Maybe it's from my headphone.
My DJ controller that I have. Because there's a mic input over there, so I think that's what's happening.
Okay.
Anyways, it's just one of those that I don't think I can ever get tired of watching it. It's just a fun Friday. On paper, it's like the perfect Friday the 13th film that you would want out of a Friday the 13th film, right? It's in the woods. It's at a camp. Jason is at his peak, right? You know what I mean? It's peak Jason at this point. On roids for sure. He was definitely doing squats. Never missed like
Well, he starts off a little overweight.
little,
and then
but
and then
he went on
CJ
a
Graham
diet,
takes over.
went on a diet. And he was like, all right, I gotta get in shape here,
Yeah,
before going on a killing spree. And they definitely made sure they did not miss Jason's ass shots. And
no, tight, man. CJ Graham has a tight ass,
bro.
Or as Al Pacino would say, great ass.
Yeah, bro did not miss leg day, that's for sure.
No. And tool belt and the work gloves and,
yeah,
and the
like
whole thing.
He was just the full-on woodsman at this point. And
yeah,
the kills were very creative. And it's just an all-around, it's just a fun, it's really what you want Friday the 13th movies to be like, fun. I'm not looking for Citizen Kane, I'm not looking for Hereditary when I watch a Friday the 13th. I'm just looking to be entertained for 90 minutes.
Right.
And essentially that's what Jason Lives does from start. And it's never outgrown me,
Yeah.
I was trying to think here as I was talking. I think I watched the first, I think with this franchise, it's one of the rare occasions, and it's because of my grandfather being such a big fan of this series growing up as a kid. It's the only one that I watched from one, like I watched in order. I didn't watch out of order,
right.
I saw the first one and then I saw the second one and so on and so forth. And by the time I got to 6, like even as a kid, like that was just, I knew that was going to be one of my, favorites in the franchise. It was just kind of like how Halloween 4 resonated with me, or like how you used for your reference Nightmare on Elm Street 3. It has that same type of feel and vibe. Although I will say this, I probably don't watch Elm Street 3 nearly as much as I probably do watch Friday the 13th Part 6. If I was being honest, I don't watch. I'm not saying I don't watch Elm Street 3, but probably not as much as I do watch Jason Lives. Like if this year, I think we got like 2 or 3 Friday the 13th, right? I think we got one more coming. Like we've had 2.
Yeah, there's one more coming this fall.
Yeah, so it's almost a guarantee that I'm going to watch 1, 2, and 6. That's like almost guaranteed. Like what order I'm going to watch it in, I don't really do the order thing when it comes to Friday the 13th movies. It's more like, well, what am I feeling right now? But how do you feel about the movie? I know it's not one of your favorites in the franchise, right?
No, it's grown on me over the years. I appreciate Friday the 13th Part 6 now more than I think I ever have at any point. But I would say that it's one of those it's the MTV installment like Elm Street 3. It was the first one after the
lot of one-liners in this movie,
a lot of one-liners, a lot of
the cherries.
Light up those cherries. Where the doc goes, you bang,
you bang, you're dead.
It's got a great kill of the sheriff when he's like bent over backwards, whatever. It's such a great. I mean, there's some genuinely great moments. I understand why people really like it. I think CJ Graham is a formidable Jason, although I am not a big fan of the tool belt and the gloves. I don't understand why the tool belt. I don't understand why the gloves.
They didn't need it.
No, it seems a little too. He's worried about getting his. Well, it just feels like he's worried about getting his hands dirty, and so he's got to put on some glove. Like that's not Jason. It seems a little weird. So I don't think I would have done that. But I don't hate the movie or anything like that. But I think for me, when I watch the Friday the 13th films, it's usually 1 through 4, maybe 5, but that's about it. And 6 I will watch from time to time, but I rarely go to 7. No disrespect to people who love 7 and love Kane Hodder. I just, by the time you get to 7 and 8, and I've checked out.
Dude, I think the last time I watched any of those was when we covered those movies. Like it's just, again, like I get it. Look, everyone loves Kane Hodder, and those are his movies, and it's not a disrespect to him. It just look, as a kid, I would say I probably watched those movies. Well, especially 7. Certainly as a kid, I watched it a lot. When I say kid, meaning like young, 12, 13 years old. Like I didn't care at that time,
Yeah.
like me and my buddies would watch them all and whatever. And even Manhattan, like as a kid watched it. But then like, as you become an adult, your taste begins to change and you're like,
Yeah.
like
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
this isn't landing for me like it once did.
Well, it's diminishing returns. I mean, it's just there's only so much you can do, and so I like when I think of Jason Voorhees, and again, it could be a generational thing, an era thing, even, and it doesn't even have to be separated by that many years. I mean, you and I were born in 1979,
Correct.
and so, but for those that may have been born in 1986 or 87, I mean, that's only 7 or 8 years difference, but it's enough of a difference that the movies that may have been introduced to those people would have been the later Friday films, perhaps, as opposed to the earlier Friday films, which is possible. You and I, when we started getting into Friday the 13th, we grew up with it, right? We watched the installments release. And so for me, when I think of Jason Voorhees, when somebody says Jason Voorhees, what's the first thing that pops into my head? It's Richard Brooker and Ted White. It's never Kane, ever. And that's not a disrespect to Kane. It's just, those are the ones that I was really, really into. By the time Kane Hodder came around, we were already, 8 or 9 years old. And so, we were very young when we got into the, the Friday films.
88?
Yeah, exactly. So we were 9.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
and again, as a kid, I totally was into the movie. I'd watch it all the time, but it's just more as an adult. It's just not like, I think, I look at it now and it's like, all right, we're going into the whole telekinesis thing. Okay.
Yeah. Carrie versus.
Is this really where we're going? Like you start to lose what the simplicity of what Friday the 13th was when you go back to the first one and even the second one. Right. And even where the payoff leads to with Jason donning the hockey mask in 3 and 4, there's still a very simplistic story that's being told,
right?
And then you start getting, like you just said, Carrie versus Jason. You're like,
yeah, I know. But there's only so many things you can do, right? But look, I appreciate.
And then the whole moonlight in the woods,
right? Yes.
Let me tell you, as someone who's grown up in the woods, and even with the moonlight, it ain't like that.
No. But I appreciate 6 for what it is. And certainly, it's a fan favorite, and certainly Vincent DeSanti, I think, did a great job at continuing that story. I know his Never Hike Alone films, funny enough, even though they have Tom Matthews in them, they do actually, I think, canonically, 7 and 8 are a part of the Never Hike Alone universe. So I think
those in the.
He has, like, in terms of if you were to actually ask him, but certainly, I appreciate what he did with it, and I do like 6, I do, but it's not one of my favorites, I would say. Mm-hmm. But having said that, you live very close to where they shot Friday the 13th Part 6, and you've been to the campground. Tell us about that.
Well, let me start before I go to the campground. I don't know if I want to give this away because it's also one of my favorite places to go and photograph a lot of, so the cemetery, is not located. In fact, I won't say it publicly because the neighborhood that I take where I do a lot of my 35 millimeter film pictures of those really beautiful Southern houses.
Yeah.
Literally the cemetery is right behind that neighborhood.
Okay.
It's like right there. And like the people of they're very kind to me about letting me photograph. And I always tell them I'm shooting on film because they're like, can we see the photo? I'm like, it's on film and whatever and whatnot. And they're like, just don't, like share where you're at and stuff like that. And I get it. I want to respect their privacy and whatnot, but you've seen the houses.
Oh, yes.
They're like, holy shit. But the cemetery is, look, if people have been there, they know where that cemetery is. But the cemetery is there. And the funny thing about that cemetery is, again, this is, how cinema is. When Tom Matthews and the sheriff drive over the railroad tracks, that's about halfway into the cemetery. Like, it's not like, and then where they have their little fight scene is like more towards the entrance of the cemetery. So it's like, and the arch is not even there anymore, but you can see where the railroad tracks are. where they cross over the
Right.
railroad tracks as they're going in. But dude, that's like halfway deep in, and it's a big ass fucking cemetery.
Yeah.
And that's like halfway deep in there. And then where they have their fight is more towards the beginning part of it. And I've actually taken pictures of that beginning part. And that's probably, I want to say, maybe a good half hour, maybe even 45 minutes away from the campground. Because it's a little bit further. The campground's like about an hour from me, and then the cemetery is probably about almost an hour and a half from me. So like the campground's like maybe like midway to where the cemetery is located. Now, as far as the campground goes, that's an amazing campground. There was, before I get into like the details of the actual the site itself, there was a really, I don't know if they didn't just walk around further, or if the rangers there, when they were approving them for filming the location, didn't tell them about this. But right near the actual campground, there's another part that's like a beach, and it's been there since the 80s, so it was there when they were making the movie. And not only is it a beach, but it's a place where you can like rent canoes, or you can do the paddle boats and stuff like that. And I started thinking of like, that scene where they filmed like John Travolta's nephew, the relatives, that kid, he's in the movie, Travolta's relative.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Where he's out in the woods, like showing the kids like the stones and stuff like that. Like if they had just done a little bit more scouting, like I could foresee him and the kids, or like loading up the canoes and stacking the canoes and stuff like that, and really kind of make it more giving you the aesthetic look of a campground, rather than just going out in the woods and stacking a pile of rocks and stuff like that, just to create a scene with the boys. I don't know why they didn't do that, but it really, to me, I think it would have added more to the campsite. So if you are someone who likes to go to these filming locations, if you're ever in Rutledge, which is where the campground is, I think it's called Camp Daniel, I think, or something. If you go a little bit further up and go past the entrance to where Friday the 13th is, literally the next entrance up is the area where the beach is, and you could actually go to the beach and you can rent like a canoe, and it's less than a football field. I'm telling you, it's that close. You can canoe yourself right over to the dock where Jason and Tommy had their little thing, and then you can start walking up the campgrounds and see all the stuff there.
Right.
But yeah, so now as far as the campground goes, I mean, I'm not shedding any new light on what most of us already know. Sean Clark did a really in-depth video, but the boys' cabin was actually a storage. It's a storage facility at the campground where you see the boys kind of peeping their heads out. It's not a place where the kids sleep. The kids sleep at the actual camp is right near the docks where where Tommy calls Jason out at the end. That's where all the kid cabins are. Where in the movie, where the boys are kind of like hanging out there, that's more of there's a vintage cooler in there. There's like a Coca-Cola, which I took a photo of that as well too. And it's just a bunch of like stuff for the camp that's stored in there.
Yeah.
Because it's still an active camp. Like
Right.
They have people there all the time and whatnot. So that's a storage facility. The kitchen is there, and the kitchen pretty much looks, other than the fact that the stove is modern, the sink is modern, the tile on the counters are identical. It's the same tile. So if you look really closely, you can see the same in the movie. And if you're standing in the kitchen, you can see that it's the exact same tile. Nothing in the kitchen is. In fact, the windows even look identical.
Yeah.
Another fun fact to the kitchen room, the kitchen area and dining room. The dining room is actually where the girls' cabin, where Nancy was, where the big fireplace is that you see that's lit, where Jason's walking in and whatnot.
Right.
The doorway that he's walking, it is like right at the end of the kitchen hall or dining hall, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They just converted that area because they needed the space into the sleep area for the kids and whatnot. And the fireplace is still there. The fireplace looks identical to like what you see in the movies.
Yeah.
I went up to where Paula's cabin is. Paula's cabin is more on the other side of the camp, separated from where the like there's like a chapel. I think it's a chapel. It looks like a chapel because there was like a pew there with like it looked like kind of like a church setup,
Yeah.
and whatnot. And then next to that is the kitchen. And then there's like a little post office thing, like kind of near the main entrance. And then the other side is where all like I would assume the adults and the counselors sleep and whatnot. And it was the park ranger, because he knows or there's a lot of people who go there to visit the site and whatnot. He was able to tell me which cabin was Paula's cabin where she got killed.
That's cool. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Friday the 13th Part 6 was the first Friday film to actually show kids, apart from the very beginning of the first movie, when Mrs. Voorhees is walking through one of the cabins. It's POV. You hear the for the first time. She looks down, the camera looks down, and you can see kids sleeping in their beds. Besides that, I think this is the first Friday movie to actually have kids at the camp.
That's correct, which is crazy to think because the whole point is based on a summer camp.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean, I know it's the setup, right? Like when you go to the first film, it's the counselors getting ready for the kids.
Right.
And then the second one is the counselors in training. And the third and fourth have absolutely nothing to do with counselors. So,
no,
so yeah.
They don't.
When you get to the sixth one, finally it dawned on them like, hey, wait a second,
like
maybe we should actually have kids. And
maybe we should.
I thought that was a nice touch.
I think my favorite line in the movie is, "So what were you going to be when you grew up?"
Yeah.
Such a cute line.
That was in the girls' cabin, which was the kids' dining hall.
Right. And isn't there a scene in the movie where somebody walks into one of the cabins? Maybe it's Paula's cabin. I can't remember. And there's like blood all over the walls.
That's Paula's cabin.
That's Paula's cabin.
Really small. When I did one of my photo shoots there, we took pictures with the girl. And the guy dressed up as I did a Sackhead Jason there.
Yeah.
And we took pictures in the room and whatever and whatnot. And well, because you've done a full scale production, like, I don't know how they did that. Like, cause there is a few scenes where Paula and the girl are in there talking and they're eating popcorn and stuff like that. I mean, like they literally must've just had a camera and a guy with a boom and that's it.
Yeah.
Because there's just no room.
They could have. Yeah, it could have been that simple. Yeah.
I mean, really, it had to have been that simple because you're not. And then I'm thinking like they either had very minimal lighting or again, because lighting is such a huge factor, in which, of course, what people don't realize, a lot of it is the set lighting that, is, like a lot of what we see, we think like they're in a home. Like, well, when we're watching the 2018 Halloween, that's not the OG house from the original movie. That's a set.
Right.
And they're able to light around that house. Whereas in Carpenter's film in 78, he's lighting it inside that dinky ass house, which again.
Yeah. And you do that because you only have $300,000.
Exactly.
And you have to actually shoot on location.
Well, I will say the shocker was, and I held this for last, but because I couldn't believe when I finally went out to the dock, there was a few things that really surprised me. First, at the end of the dock, you can literally see across the lake to the other side with the trees. And I mean, you can lob a rock and you're going to hit a tree. It's that close. And that just goes to show you like how when you're out in the woods and it's at night, how dark it actually really gets. Because when Tommy's in the water there, before they go to the pool part to this, where they're fighting in the boat, in which because that was done in a pool. But when Jason's walking up from the hill there, or down the hill, I should say, into the lake, I mean, you don't see it. It's pitch dark. Not only that, but when you veer out to the left, if you're standing on the dock, the lake just opens up, and then right around the bend there, you can start to see where the beach and the canoes and everything like that are. So, I mean, again, you learn a lot when you're actually standing at a location. You're like, okay, the art of, cinema and how you frame your shot, and making sure you're not getting this, and we're focused in on here. But I wanted to go in the water. I wanted to swim in the water.
Right.
So like I wanted to
you wanted to taste Jason Voorhees' feces.
Exactly. But then
exactly.
I'm walking in, man. And like, I'm walking and I'm walking and I'm walking. And
I'm
like
walking. Yes, indeed,
and
I'm
I'm
talking.
midway through, and it's like only up to like my neck at this point. Now,
So you're like halfway across the lake
from where the dock is going to the other side.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's only right here.
So
So
there's
now on a good day, I'm like 5'9.5", barely 5'10". So like
yeah.
whoever was playing Jason at this point in the movie, I do wonder two things. I wonder if in pre-production, when the stunt guy, whoever was in charge of that setup for that scene, with Tom Matthews in the whole fighting, if he was like, bro, we can't do this because like if I can't believe the water level has changed that much. Oh, I mean, I understand like water level can rise in a lake, but actually go down. I mean, that would be a lot.
Unless it was just where you were. Maybe
like
there was a sandbar where you were.
Like
okay.
We walked, because there were several of us there that day doing that photo shoot. So
yeah,
we were just kind of like, we couldn't believe, like we were just walking all around. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, damn, this is really freaking shallow. And ultimately we went to the other side and then came back, and it was just like,
so you actually walked across the lake
the whole way. And
wow.
so so that led me thinking like two things. One, and during pre-production, maybe they went out there and realized like, dude, I mean, the guy who's playing Jason, if it's coming up to here for me.
Well, CJ Graham is what, 6'3", 6'4", something like that?
Well, yeah, then for him, it's like coming up to his nipples.
Yeah.
Like Jason ain't drowning in this, man. Like, like
right.
But also that also shows you the creativity. If it was him walking into the water there and how he goes under like that, that's a slick move, because he had to have like essentially
probably
dunked himself.
Yeah, I was going to say he probably just fell to his knees.
But he does it so fluidly.
Yeah.
You know what
or
I mean?
Maybe it was
as someone who's walked that and knowing like, okay, this guy is really, he's a tall guy. Like how tall is he? Like 6'3"?
I was just saying that 6'3", 6'4", something like that.
So I'm like,
he's taller than Kane.
He did that so smoothly. Oh, those are fighting words, Dave. Oh, he's not.
No. All right. Go ahead.
But so yeah, again, just to sell that. That the water's deep in that area, and it's really not. I mean, he really, he sold it. And then of course we've heard, through interviews that the actual fighting between Tom Matthews and Jason, which is why you really don't see the, if you ever notice the shots and how they set those shots up, you don't really see behind, you don't see the camp or anything.
Yeah.
Megan is, it's supposed to look like she's far away and whatnot, looking down to see it and whatever. But I believe they shot those pool sequence out like in Pasadena or something. Or am I wrong?
I'm not sure, but it was a pool. Yeah.
I know it was a pool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was interesting when I was walking in the water.
Yeah.
Man, Jason ain't drowning in this shit.
And shout out to Cynthia Kenya, who I think that's how you say her last name. My apologies, Cynthia. Kenya, who was in Friday the 13th Part 6, who got stabbed in the stomach on the motorbike or whatever it was. They were the honeymooning couple.
Yeah, they were the extra kill.
They were the extra kill, and I worked with her in Dylan's New Nightmare. She was the doctor, the professor, the one that I killed in the gut.
There you go.
The one that I time's up, Doc. She was great. She was a lot of fun to work with. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's I like it. I've always liked the movie. I have, but it's not one of my favorites, I would say. Although I do love the motorhome scene. That whole scene, like that whole thing, that death thing.
That actress was smart, man. They wanted her to go topless, but they had already started, and she was like, "Nope, too late.
Nope, ain't happening. Too late.
Ain't happening." I think that is the only Friday the 13th movie
where there's no boobs.
Where there's none.
None.
Which is really
which is saying something coming after Friday the 13th 5, where it's like every 5 seconds.
You essentially kind of associate Friday the 13th with that. Like you kind of know
it's schlocky B movie nonsense.
It's going to happen. At some point. You're going to get the money shot, and
Yeah.
you're going to see some girl's chest at some point. It's always been associated, but for that one, yeah, I think they went into production and she had already signed their contract and everything, and it was just sorry, bro.
Kane Hodder in his prime was at least 6'3", right? I will tell you that Kane Hodder in his prime was never 6'3". Okay. Anyways,
with lifts on.
Yeah. Whenever you go to
Mark Wahlberg,
and
lifts.
he was never 6'3". I think Kane was probably a good 6 foot. I think that's right. When you see him at conventions today, look at his boots. He's got about 3-inch elevator shoes on, which is fine. I'm not knocking Kane. I love Kane. We all love Kane. I'm just saying that those who think he's actually 6'3", he's not.
Because when you
well, I said this, and then you tell me if you think the same thing. When you watch Friday the 13th Part 7 or 8 or whatever the ones he's in, he's not that much taller than well, mind you, in those films, he probably has boots on as well.
Sure.
But he doesn't look, there's a couple of scenes where he doesn't look that much taller than some of the female protagonists. And so he looks quite, and when I say that much taller, I don't mean like their height of 5'7". But Kane is not 6. I mean, Kane will tell you he's 6'3" in sock feet. He's not. And he never was.
No. And I've seen a lot of photos with him, and I've seen people that we know share pictures of meeting him. And the only reason why I'm bringing this dude up is because I watched, there's a doc series that he does. It's so great because he brings in a lot of the arts. It's called On the Roam and Jason Momoa's in it. It's his little thing. He's 6'4", and when he's standing next to people, you can tell that dude is a big dude, and he wears flip flops and a lot of shit. I'm like, that is a big fucking dude.
It's a big guy.
Yeah. So and then I look, and again, I don't know some of our viewers personally, but I have seen them share pictures, and I can tell our viewers are some of the guys, they're not tall guys. They're not short by any means, but
no, not at all. Kane's not a short man.
Right. But
no,
Kane's not
he's taller than me.
Yeah. And Kane's not, Kane's not exactly towering over these people.
No.
If it was Derek Mears, or say if it was Tyler Mane or something like that. Yeah. When I've seen people stand in a photo with Tyler Mane, I'm like, that's a big fucker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. And he's that tall in flip flops, exactly. You said, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, and again, it's not a knock on Kane. I get why he wears those boots. The reason he wears those boots at conventions is because he has an image to portray, and he's meeting fans. And when he stands for a photo with a fan, he wants to look the part. It's part of the magic. It's part of the game. He doesn't want to look smaller. He wants to look imposing. There's nothing wrong with that. Where I push back is when people say, no, he's literally 6'3" and bare feet. No, he's not. He's not James Jude Courtney in his bare feet, right? And so, but there's nothing wrong with that at all. He has an image he wants to portray. I get it. Totally understand it. And there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, part 6, I love in part 6 as well when the motorhome is or the RV, whatever the hell you want to call it, is flipped over and it's on fire, and I assume it's CJ Graham. Jason is standing on top of the motorhome, and he's just standing there. It's ominous, low angle shot. It's a great shot. It's a great moment. One of my favorite shots, actually.
The RV, I will say, look, I mean,
one of my favorite shots in that movie. One of my favorite sequences in that movie is the RV scene.
If I could say, give me the perfect Friday the 13th poster. It would be that shot, because it's just epic. It's Jason standing on top of a motorhome. It's chaos. There's fire. I mean, it's man, that's give me that, and I want that as a poster. You know what I mean? That's just a great shot.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There was a few others that were pretty decent shots throughout them, but you can clearly tell that he was going for, oh God, what was the director's name again?
McLaughlin? No. Tom McLaughlin? Is that who did it?
You can clearly tell he was going for a
Tom McLaughlin.
Gothic.
Yeah.
A Gothic
McLaughlin.
style.
McLaughlin.
Gothic-like style Friday the 13th with the lighting imagery that he did at times. Clearly, I've always taken, people ask like, well, is lightning Jason's power? I've never interpreted that in the beginning as his power. I've always interpreted it as that was Tom McLaughlin, right?
Yeah.
I always interpret that was kind of his nod to Frankenstein. Like that was kind of like his, little wink to that.
Well, and at some point, Jason is literally, when you look at where he was left at the end of Friday the 13th 4, if you're going to bring him back at this point, even though you could make the argument that he's supernatural in the first 4 movies, because how did he survive? What's going on? All this you can, and I know some people do try to spin it in a way where he's just a man in the woods and he's a crazy woods guy. But by the time, Tommy Jarvis, Corey Feldman is, die at the end of 4, and the thing's going through his head and through his brain, which would kill him. I understand why with 6, you're like, well, we have to introduce lightning and some sort of supernatural reason for his revival, because he's clearly dead. There's no reason he can't just show up. He's his whole, like a machete went through his brain. So, and that was the choice that they made. They thought, let's Frankenstein that shit, and bring him back that way.
That's how I never interpreted it as like Jason's power was lightning.
Yeah.
I just thought like, nah, that's a nice wink and nod to Frankenstein.
Yeah. Exactly. And so, it's a fun movie. It's a fan favorite for sure. And a lot of people rank it as their number 1. I think this and Friday 4 and Friday 2, maybe more this and Friday 4, are usually talked about as being kind of the favorites. Do you know what I mean? Let's ask the chat room right now, where would you put Friday the 13th Part 6 in your in your ranking? Like, do you have it as number 1, number 3, number 2? It's dog shit. It's dog shit. Absolute dog shit. Maybe that is the case. I don't know. I have no idea.
I do have a question, a non-Friday the 13th question for you and the audience.
Okay. All right.
Do you want me to ask it now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So this is a just because it just reminded me what you just said.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I told her I was going to ask this question because we were talking about the greatest. What do we feel as for television shows now? This is just a TV question. The most iconic scene in television history that when you watch it, it literally defines a generation.
Wow, that's interesting.
Can I give you mine?
Yeah. One second here. We've got DJXP says it would be my number 4. Lenny TS1 says number 3. Daz says 6 and 2 are my top 2, but 4 is pretty low in my ranking. Interesting. Part 6 is my number 1 pick, says AK408. And Joseph says number 1. Smith's Grove Sanitarium says I have Friday Part 6 at number 2. Yeah, a lot of people have it up there. All the good names are taken. It's a revolving door for the top for me. Part 6 and Part 2, depending on the day. Guitarist Dog 87 says my top 3 are Parts 4, 2, and 6. And then Brian says number 2. Like, yeah, a lot of people have it very high in their rankings. I think for me, it would probably fall, if I'm being honest, it would probably fall at maybe number 6. It would be like my 6th favorite. I like 1 better, 2 better, 3 better, 4 better, even 5 better. Maybe it's in order. Maybe I like the films in order. Maybe that's how I'd rank. But back to your question. Yeah. What is, that's a fascinating question. What is it?
Mine, hands down. This is hands down.
Wait, so this is a scene.
It's a scene. It's a moment. It's
a moment.
We're talking about a moment. We're talking about a scene
in a television series,
in a television show, that you can sit there and go, that fucking defined that entire decade or generation, whatever. To me,
is the show Beverly Hills 90210?
No, the show is Miami Vice, and it's the scene where Phil Collins in the Air of the Night is playing slowly as they are driving. That is the most fucking 1980s moment that you could ever put on television.
Fascinating.
Because when you do the hybrid of Miami Vice
Yes.
Dude is loading up a shotgun. Crockett is driving, I believe, the black Ferrari in that scene. And then you've got Phil Collins in the air of the night subtly playing. And it doesn't stop, by the way.
Right, right.
They play it out. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that fucking scene right there. Like, if I had to sit there and say what defines the 1980s, that moment right there.
I have to agree with CRKNDRCK, who says Dallas, who shot JR?
See that?
That's a good one. That
was
that was
more
huge.
70s, though?
I think that was early 80s, I think.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I think it was very early 80s, I think. Yeah. Dallas was, it began in the 70s, but I think it was early 80s, I think. But yeah, that was huge. That was all and of course this is pre-internet, pre-social media, pre-smartphones, pre-everything. I mean, it was all the it was just water cooler talk and entertainment, magazines. Did you see it? Oh my God, and you couldn't go back and watch it again. You had to wait 3 or 4 months until the series or season premiere of the next season. And
I didn't watch Miami Vice like a lot as a kid growing up, but I do remember that moment. I always associated In the Air of the Night with that show.
Right. Gotcha.
For being on that show. Well, it's just not even that. It's just
Lord.
It's like you've got the slow buildup in that scene with Collins's like slow percussion going.
Yeah.
They're driving, fucking got the top down. It's in Miami. The hair's blowing.
Yep.
Don Johnson's got that iconic like 80s outfit on that all men were wearing at that time and shit.
That's it.
And his partner's freaking loading up a shotgun. I'm like, dude, that's like the most 1980s you can possibly.
It definitely is.
I don't think they would do that shit nowadays.
No, probably not.
But yeah, MASH finale was, but like, I don't know.
MASH was, that was huge.
I think there was more with MASH though. The finale was good, but like there were more definitive moments with that show. Especially what made MASH so great. Now, I didn't appreciate it as a kid as like I do as an adult now. Because when I heard that theme, I always knew it was time to go to bed, and that sucked. If you were a kid growing up in the 80s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you heard the MASH theme, it's like, oh, time for bed. Like,
Yep.
But like as an adult, what I really love about MASH is they were able to not only create the humor, which was funny, but also bring out the seriousness of what it was like to be in war and as part of a MASH unit. And there's so many, like for me, like I know the finale is one that a lot of people talk about, but man, there are so many big episodes throughout that series that it's like how do you choose one from that series?
I know what you mean.
It was just such. I mean, not only that, but here's the thing that what makes MASH maybe one of the greatest shows ever. The hardest thing with a show is to lose a cast member and try to replace that person.
Right.
That's like it's usually like the death nail with a show. And
Cheers did it successfully. Three's Company did it successfully.
Yeah, Cheers. Unfortunately, Nick Castellano He passed away, which is why Woody ended up coming. I always said, man, it would have been great to like actually bring Woody in while Coach was still there, just to see that dynamic of that naive, like Midwestern, way Woody Harrelson was playing, and the guy who was playing Coach, that kind of like. How he was also naive as well too. Just seeing how that, like how the writers of that show could have written that would have been fucking hilarious. But
for sure,
with MASH, the MASH lost a lot of key characters. Like, okay, first of all, you lose Trapper, so now you bring in BJ. Okay, now you don't just lose the Colonel, you pull the gun and kill the Colonel. Like. That when you talk about moments that shocked people, like I hear stories from my parents and how like people were fucking like calling the networks and they wanted people's jobs.
Oh yeah.
They were pissed that they killed Henry Blake off. They were so angry about that. But then again, you get Harry Morgan who plays Colonel Potter, different type of actor and different type of Colonel, but awesome. You know what I mean? And then of course you get like the Frank Burns guy, right? And he was great, and then he leaves and then you get Winchester, so like they just managed, and you don't see that with many shows where you lose that many key main characters and then you're able to bring in some heavy hitters that do really, really well.
Right.
And even when Radar left, and it was just Klinger who kind of
Yeah.
took over the reins there as the corporal and whatnot. Even though Klinger was really kind of a part of the show from the get go, and whatnot. But even losing Radar didn't really. It just really didn't hurt the show. But yes, I agree with what you said with Three's Company. They went through a lot of blondes after Suzanne Summers
left, and then Cindy came, and then Terry, and
yeah, and then like we said, Cheers. Well, Cheers coach died, and then it really. I'm
talking more about the replacement from Shelley Long to Kirstie Alley.
Well, yeah, that was again Shelley Long wanted to leave, which again, okay. I mean, she felt like she was going Hollywood at that time, and that was what she wanted to do. And Kirstie Alley was great. And then even not only that, I think what helped bringing, not only bringing her in, but at that time when she's coming in, Frasier is now become an established character. He was kind of a part-time player. Now he's becoming a full-time player. And now they're also bringing in Lilith on top of that. And they're adding that. So I think losing Shelley Long didn't hurt as much because you had that dynamic.
It's such a strong supporting cast.
Exactly. So they were like, okay, we can kind of like ease this in with Kirstie Alley. And then she became like, like she's my favorite. Like, look, I know there's people who like Sam and Diane. Dude, by the 5th season, I'm so tired of that like on and off relationship. I'm just like, bro, like, which is why like I was always torn on Sam and Rebecca hooking up. I really didn't want that to happen. I always felt like that should have been more of like a brotherly, sisterly type relationship because you kind of played out the whole like. Now, what I did like for a while, and then it kind of ran its course, was Sam's attempt to get her, and she kept shooting him down.
Right.
That was funny, but then that kind of like it's like, all right, how long are you gonna do that? But dude, like Cheers is one of my next to Big Bang Theory. It's my favorite show. And that whole Sam and Diane thing, I'm like, by season 5, I'm like, bro.
I got you. Joseph asks Dave a question for you. Who's your favorite Jason? My favorite Jason is between Richard Brooker and Ted White. Sometimes it's Richard Brooker, sometimes it's Ted White. That's kind of how I roll with that. But let's open up the questions now to the chat room and see what you guys are saying. How do you feel about Friday the 13th Part 6? If you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts on Friday the 13th Part 6. Jason Lives. It's celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. Released on August the 1st, 1986. Tony and I were 7 years old, and now
how can we talk about Friday the 13th Part 6 without talking about the man Alice Cooper?
Oh, of course, the man behind the mask. Yes. God,
that's a good track.
Well, that's a good track. That's a great track. That's a great track.
I will say this. Look, we don't get many songs in horror, like actual singing songs.
Yeah.
We obviously Halloween theme that's the GOAT. Like that. There's no comparison to that.
Yes.
But an actual like composed song. Dream Warriors, of course, I think would be probably
the Dream Warriors.
Dokken, I think might be, but then again, Dokken, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be interested to know with the chat room. Who are you guys more of Dream Warriors or what is Alice Cooper song's called? He's back. The man behind the mask.
The man behind the mask.
The man behind the mask.
Yeah. Are you more? Dokken or Cooper for the man behind the mask? Yeah.
I'm probably more Cooper because I do like Cooper.
Same.
I do like Cooper.
It's a bitchin' ass song, man. It's
I'm not
really,
saying that
really
Dream
good song.
Warriors is a bad song. It's a good song. It just, like I'm playing the two in my head right now. Yeah.
Well, let me play this. Hang on a sec. I got something I want to play. Let me see if I can get this. This was. Do I still have it?
Copyright.
Oh, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Hang on a sec. Let me see if I... Oh, I don't want to... No, I bring it up here, but I don't know if it would... Hang on a sec. Let me see if I can bring it up. 1 second. Just let me see if I can get this. I might not actually have it anymore. I think I got rid of it. Not rid of it, but I mean put it on another drive. I don't think I have it on my drive. That's on my computer here, do I? No, but that's okay. Okay, not a big deal. No, it's not a big deal. I've already posted on my social media me dancing to Alice Cooper's Man Behind the Mask in the fucking. You saw that? Remember the fucking Jason mask? It's fucking amazing, man.
You got
Let me see if I can
to do that, man.
Hang on a sec. I'm gonna bring
confidence to do that.
I'm gonna bring up my Instagram and I'm gonna go to my profile here.
Dude, I have a hard time playing the piano on Instagram. Like I don't like this is easy for me because you're here, so I can feed. But like making videos by myself, I can't do that. Like I just get very uncomfortable.
1 second here. All right, let's see if I can. I don't know if this is gonna work. How do I get that even? I guess I do.
I don't know.
I don't know how I would. No, I don't have a. I should have. Let me do that. Hang on a sec. I'm gonna have to put this over here like that, and then do this, and then do this, and do window capture, do that, do that, do that. Hang on a sec. There we go.
And of course, in Halloween, we're stuck with that stupid Romeo song from Halloween 5.
There we go. All right. I hope this is gonna work now, but we'll find out if it does or if it doesn't. Oh, it should need a desktop in there. I don't have a desktop. 1 second. I need my. Hang on a sec.
Dave's got the bug eye going.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Teenage Frankenstein is a really great track, Joseph. That is a really, really good track.
I don't know if this.
Poison is probably my favorite Cooper song, though, for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I have to go with Poison.
Let's see if this works. 1 second here. Can you hear that? No, you can't hear it. You can't hear it. You can't hear it for some reason. It's not coming through.
Aren't you moving in there? Because it's still like is it a still image or a video?
No, it's a video. It's a video.
Oh, there it is. It's just kind of delayed.
No, but it's the audio's not coming through for some weird reason.
If I could sing, I would sing.
I don't know why it's not coming through, but it's really funny.
Michael Jackson dance moves.
It's really funny. Anyways, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. It's on my Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. Hey, Josh McKenna, $1.99. I'm 34 and I love old shows like Brady Bunch. Yeah, Brady Bunch is good. Here's a story of a lovely lady. Here we sing. Whatever the hell that was supposed to be.
Oh, they said they could hear it.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
You can hear it? Yeah, fuck, that's weird. It, okay, well, let's fucking...
Maybe you and I couldn't hear it.
Maybe we couldn't hear it. Okay.
Play it again.
All right, here we go. Let's do this. It's going to go to my Instagram. Whoa. Let me hang on a sec here. Hang on. You could hear it. Oh, weird. Okay, 1 second. Let me go to my profile. Scroll my Insta.
Hey man, you got Insta? Hey, you got Insta? Can I follow you on Insta?
What are you talking about, child?
You got Insta?
Hey, bro. You got Insta, bro?
Insta, bro. What is that? Is that like Instagram? Okay. Let me.
God, like
you can hear that? Really?
Light how like the sweat. It is so hot, even with my AC on, dude. It's so ridiculously hot down here.
All right. Here we go. Let's try this.
Satan's breathing on us.
You're with your baby and you're parked alone on a summer night. You're deep in love, but you're deeper in the woods. You think you're doing alright. Did you hear that voice? Did you see that face? Or was it just a dream? This can't be real, that only happens, babe, on the movie screen. Oh,
the red smoke now.
There you go. There you go, ladies and
Dude,
gentlemen. Yes.
Dude, that takes.
Yes.
That takes.
God, I love this. So Rowan Kennedy's like, so corny. Of course it's corny.
Of course it is.
Well, that's the whole point.
Like,
well, you think I think this is brilliant? You think I'm like, dude, this is fucking awesome, man.
Dude, me and my boys growing up, we had a thing for a comment like that, like,
yeah.
And thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of corny, man. Well, of course it's corny. It's dog shit. That's what it is. Of course.
But seriously, that does take you like to do that. Like, look, like as someone who posts videos and like I have a hard time posting my hands. Like, you got to have a certain kind of there's a confidence there that you got to be able to do that stuff and be able to poke fun at yourself and laugh about it and whatnot, because it's not as easy as you think it is.
No, well, I actually recorded that. I posted that it's on my channel, but I posted it again on YouTube because there were 2 Friday the 13th this year already, right? So I posted the old one that I did where I'm dancing to Friday the 13th Part 3. That boom, 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 that one's on my Instagram as well. And then there's this one, but this was recorded maybe 5 years ago, something like that. Like it's old. It's not something I just did recently.
Oh, really?
But no. I posted it a while ago. Yeah, it's because I posted it to Instagram because we had 2 Friday the 13th within like of 2 weeks of each other, or like sorry, two weeks of each other. That's literally impossible.
Wow. I mean, really, about 4 weeks.
No, but no. Hey, man, we had 2 Friday the 13th was in 2 weeks of each other, man. It's fucking incredible, dude. It's like that's not possible. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun, man. It's fun to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, listen, we'd love to know sort of what people think about Friday the 13th Part 6. Joseph says, so is Hard Rock Summer, which is playing in Megan's car with Tommy, and they are being chased by the cops.
That's a song.
Summer? Yeah. So, okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Brandon says His Eyes by Pseudo Echo in Part 5 is amazing. It is. That is a great track from Friday the 13th Part 5. Great track, for sure.
I'm trying to sing it in my head right now.
Yeah. It's a good one, man. It's a good track for sure. Sure.
Halloween never really got good tracks. I mean, obviously the score in itself is enough, but and the Shape Stocks and the Myers House Laurie's theme, like, yeah, as far as the synthesizers and the arpeggios and stuff that Carpenter and Howarth, yeah. Can't talk.
That's it.
That they created. I mean, yes, I get that that's enough, but they never. The only one that I can think of is the Romeo song that was in Part 5 that Rachel's playing on the turntable.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can think of. Oh no, Creed, What's This Life's For is at the end of H2O.
Oh
yeah, they went full Dawson's Creek on that one.
Dawson's Creek.
I totally forgot about What's This Life For.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Isn't that playing at the end of the credits in H2O?
Is it? Well, the Halloween theme.
I know it's a Creed song. That's playing.
The Halloween theme it plays because as soon as she chops off his head.
Yes, but then once it's
done, it goes into like a.
It goes into. Is it What's This Life For?
I don't know. Somebody's gonna know. Somebody's gonna know.
Yeah, so I totally forgot about that. I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
6. Is there a song in 6? That would have been ideal to put like in 6. You know where they missed the boat on 6? Because that was during kind of that period of time too.
They didn't make a good movie. That's
Did you say that out loud?
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Yeah.
No, what they could have done though, like, see the vibe of 6.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a special. Okay, so that's why I'm thinking of it. It was on the DVD. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So that was all right. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay. We're
It's like,
six.
I know what you did last summer. Hush, hush. Oh, no, 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 hush. Hush.
But tell me if I'm wrong on this. With six, they could have put music in there from like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. Like it had that type of vibe and tonality. Especially with the
Savage Garden.
maybe not Savage Garden. Just because like you like the outfits that Paul Rudd was wearing and that the girls were wearing at that time, and then I'm thinking like, we were in high school, what kids were listening to at that time. Like I could hear like in Halloween 6, I could definitely hear like an Alice in Chains song or even like a 9 Inch Nails song would have been really cool in there.
Fuck, throw Thunderstruck in there. Why not?
Definitely in the 80s.
Well, no, Thunderstruck was 91. So
was it really?
Yeah, 91. Yeah, it was the Razor's Edge album. Yeah. Okay. Early 90s.
Yeah, some 9 Inch Nails or even Marilyn Manson, he didn't come out to what, 96, 97? When did Sweet Dreams hit? 96 or 97? Somewhere around in there.
90s. Yeah.
That was kind of his like, well, I know he was out before that, but that Sweet Dreams was the one that kind of put him on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised, thinking about Halloween, like, I'm surprised they didn't do more of that, like, especially in the 90s, because that the industrial metal, like 9 Inch Nails and, the Marilyn Manson groups, like that kind of goes hand in hand with Halloween. And I'm surprised no one ever thought like, hey, maybe we should put this in the
Yeah, or maybe they tried to do something like that and just didn't work out with rights and
that's true.
All that
because like in the new films I'm thinking of too, did they put any? There's no other than the
and I'm so glad they didn't. It's not that I don't look. I do think that any piece of music can play at the end of a movie,
or like in the trailer.
The trailer at the end of the movie during the credits. What I hate though is when, and I've seen a lot of them, is when a horror movie will end on some sort of existential moment or ambiguous moment or, a moment that's supposed to leave you going, oh, fuck, whatever that oh, fuck is, it's supposed to. And I'm the kind of person that if I made a movie where there's an ending where it's just like, oh shit, I want my audience who's watching my movie to leave the movie theater with that feeling. I want them to walk down the hallway, past the concession stands, through the door, into the parking lot, starting the car, driving home with that feeling. And there's nothing more annoying than a film that ends like that. It's like, whoa. And it's quiet for about, 3 seconds. And then directed by, I'm just like, no, you've taken me out of the moment. Any sense of awe or mystery or whoa I had is now completely ruined by, it's like, nah, stop it. What are you doing? You've ruined it. You've totally ruined it. That's kind of how I feel about that. But there you go. That's how I feel. So no, the David Gordon Green films didn't do that. Imagine at the end of Halloween Kills.
Wait a second. No, there is a song in the David, because we were joking about it because Michael was playing it when the bodies were laying there. What's her name there? The girl, the female, the vinyl record, when he kills the guys in his old house. Oh
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm drawing a fucking blank now on her name.
Yeah.
Why am I'm getting old. I can't remember her fucking name now. Someone in the chat room is gonna say it.
Who are you talking about?
The female vocal, the female song that's playing on the vinyl turntable.
I can't remember.
In Halloween Kills.
I've watched Halloween Kills twice. I have no idea. I watched it once in the theater and then I watched it with you. And that's it.
That's why
I literally have not seen it in like 4 years.
Name now. And I remember laughing and joking, going, Michael's a fan of her. Anne something, right?
Anne Murray?
I almost said Anne Margaret, but it's not Anne Margaret.
Anne Murray?
Is it Anne Murray?
Not Anne Murray. Oh, you mean, is it Patsy Cline? No,
it's not Patsy Cline.
Anne
Murray. Can I have this chance? Okay.
Oh, there you go. So it is
Anne Murray. Okay. All
right. So look at these rabid Halloween fans know it.
Michael's a fan of Anne Murray.
He's a fan of Anne Murray. Totally, 100%. He's a gigantic fan of Anne Murray.
It puts him in his chill mode.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
when he's not killing, he's vibing to some Anne Murray.
Yes. That's
it.
it.
That's his go-to chill mode.
That's it. Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Oh, hang on. There was a super chat that came in from Josh. Oh, hang on. There's a member chat from Brandon Collins, one of our great mods. Says, which franchise had the best 4, 5, and 6 between Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Elm Street? Ooh, that's a good one. The best 4, 5, and 6 between Halloween, Friday, and Elm Street. I think I am going to, just based on that, I'm going to have to say, now again, not singling out installments, the best 4, 5, and 6 together as a group. I think I'm going to have to go with Friday the 13th.
Can I pick any?
Because there's no way.
Those?
Well, that's the question. So that's what I'm answering.
I was going to say Scream. Because Scream 4, like if we're talking about strength in films, like how quality of films, because Scream 5, I would say is hands down better than Halloween 5, Friday the 13th 5, and
anything is better than Halloween 5.
Yeah, and Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
Shit that I took.
Scream 4, I put it there equally to Halloween 4, which is saying a lot for me.
Yeah, that is.
It's very much, and I think Scream 4 is better than Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I know Friday the 13th fans are going to kill me, but I probably would say I would prefer. I don't think it's a better movie than Friday the 13th 4, but if you were to sit there and say, hey, what do you want to watch tonight, Scream 4 or Friday the 13th 4, I probably would pick Scream 4 first. But that doesn't mean I'm saying it's the better as far as film. It's just the one that personally I would prefer. So if I can put Scream in the equation, I would say Scream. If I can't put Scream in the equation, then I would agree with you and say Friday the 13th.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, it is. It's not Halloween. It's not even close.
Or is the only one that's redeemable there, and then that's
and
it.
Elm Street is not even close.
No.
Elm Street 4, I actually quite like. It's grown up. Obviously it's MTV Freddy. It's really the change, and I get that. But 4 has some really.
It's the highest grossing one too.
It is, and it has some great dream sequences in there. But 5 is awful, and 6. Oh my God, 6 is one of the worst films. It is just a catastrophic dumpster fire of epic proportions. I mean, anybody who says something like Disclosure Day is the worst movie they've ever seen, or have not seen A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6, Freddy's Dead. And so it's just, I mean, yeah. I would say out of those, I think Friday 4 is strong. I think Friday 5 has grown on a lot of people, so it's kind of, people quite like it now. And Friday 6 is a huge fan favorite, so I don't even think that's to me it's a no-brainer. The best 4, 5, and 6 between those three is Friday 13th.
Now, if you were to throw Scream in the equation, what would you pick? Because I think of Scream 4 and 5 and 6, and some can argue that Scream 4 might be weaker than 5 and 6. Some would argue that 6 might be weaker than 4.
Yeah.
I think universally everybody really liked 5. And then 6 is kind of like, it's not bad. It's not, like it wraps up Melissa Barrett's story nicely and clean. Like you've mentioned many times, you don't need to go on. So like if you were to put Scream in the equation, it's kind of tough as far as overall quality filmmaking. And of course, 4 is Wes Craven's last movie too. So there's that sentiment.
Yeah. Well, I think there's an argument to be made that it's certainly, they're solid, entertaining film. I mean, there's not, again, despite what people say, there can be weaker installments you can like, but Scream has yet to have even 7, and I wasn't a big fan of 7.
Same, but I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say.
But it ain't no Freddy's Dead. And it ain't no resurrection.
Resurrection.
Right. I mean, it's not like it. And so it's feeling tired now. The Scream franchise is feeling tired. I think we are stretching it now, and it makes me worried about a potential 8th installment without some sort of injection of new life, which is what they did with 5. But Scream has been fairly consistent. So even Scream's worst movie is often, also one of these other franchises pretty damn good movies.
Well,
and so
we said this during our Scream 7 review. If the seventh installment now is the film where we're saying like, yeah, maybe it's time to end it, you've had a pretty good run.
You've had a pretty good run. 100%.
Not many people can say that in a movie, because you look at all these other ones, man, and you're just like, Halloween is it's like the greatest train wreck of a franchise ever. Look, for all Friday the 13th, even with the whole telekinesis, I will say this: Friday the 13th kept with continuity, though. They kept everything.
That's it. It's all part of the. It's hard to believe that Jason X is in the same timeline as Pamela Voorhees from 1980.
Everything is connected, as bonkers as it got, even with a lake apparently connected to the Atlantic Ocean. But hey,
hey, why not?
Why not? Like it is what it is.
And mountains. Apparently there are gigantic mountains in New Jersey.
When you look at the first film, there's like this tiny hill that Kevin Bacon looks at and said, what does he say? What's his line? I always laugh at that line because I'm like, that's such a corny line.
I don't know. Whenever I think of Kevin Bacon and Friday the 13th, I just think of his sawed-off boner.
Well, no, but like because he delivers it like he's like he knows like, oh, it's something like it's gonna rain like a son of a gun if the wind is picking up or something. Like,
well, he would know because his boner is pointing in the direction of the wind.
Kevin Bacon's boner, man. Whatever happened to that dude?
I don't know. There was somebody that had an account called Kevin Bacon's Boner.
He had the
shot. Josh McKenna, $1.99. Thank you, Josh. Says, did you hear about the new Halloween movie rumor? What is this new Halloween movie rumor? Tell me what it is and tell me where you heard it.
No, but you know what? Now I'm not really a gamer, but I do follow Halloween movies on Instagram, and I've seen a lot of the footage from the game that's come up, and I was just like, they could probably, with all these extra characters that they brought in and stuff, like you could actually make an entirely new Halloween movie out of it.
Yeah.
You really could, and set it in 1978. There's so many different things that like I'm seeing. I'm like, this is pretty good storytelling. I'm not a gamer. I'm not going to play it, but like what I visually have seen from it, I'm like, it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. No, for sure. And of course I'm excited for the Halloween game, which is being released. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the Friday game for some reason.
No. I was talking about the Halloween game.
It looks really awesome. It looks really awesome.
And they've added so many new characters around a lot of the OG characters.
Yeah.
And I just I was watching some of the animation clips. I was like, man, they could just like fucking, you can almost like make an entirely new Halloween movie out of this.
Yes.
And still have your same original characters, but just a new movie.
Right. You and I, hey, you know what? Maybe we should play the game together for an episode.
I wouldn't know how to, can I play it on the computer?
Yes. Yeah. You can play it on your Mac for sure. I think you played on your Mac, right?
I'm going to die
is it Mac? Maybe it's just PC. Maybe it's just PC. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just PC.
I only have an iMac, so I don't know if it would work.
Maybe not.
But I could do a watch along with you and
you can just watch me play it.
Yeah. No, I would just to kind of vibe out and see
it looks really cool, and they've gone to great lengths and great detail to make it really exciting for a lot of people. So it's going to be really cool to see what that is. Did Josh answer what the Halloween rumor is? I don't know what this Halloween movie rumor is. I haven't heard anything about a Halloween movie rumor. Is this coming from channels that like Billy Bob's Fart Blog, who are talking about a Halloween rumor,
is it one of those like fake, sometimes you guys got to be really careful, and not get duped. Like occasionally I've really cleaned up my algorithm so I don't see that shit anymore. But I used to there was a rumor going around a while ago where Rob Zombie was doing a Nightmare on Elm Street with DJ Qualls. That was first of all, if Rob Zombie was doing a Nightmare on Elm Street, don't you think he would be announcing it on his social media? The fact that nobody picked up on that, and that there's so many gullible people who actually believed this post. That's the funny thing. It's just, people have been folks, not everything you see is legit on social media. Yeah. You gotta do maybe a little due diligence first. And I did, because at first, this is like, I was the first time I was seeing it, and I'm like, wait a second, because I follow Rob Zombie on social media as well too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like, there's no way like he would let
Yeah.
an announcement like that not like tag himself or
let an announcement like that to Jerry's Slasher House on Facebook is the one who's releasing the announcement.
And I'm like, well, if Rob Zombie's not even talking about it, there's no way in hell, because like he would be promoting that shit. Like he's more of a horror than I am when it comes to his music and promoting himself and stuff like that. So like he's not even saying a thing about this. And then DJ Qualls, the actor, who I like, I mean, he's a good actor, he's funny as shit. He's not saying anything about it. So I'm like, all right, well, what the fuck's going on here?
Well, and too, what's funny is look, I've said this so many times. Is that and again, I say this because it irks me. Maybe it irks me more than the average person. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying maybe because I grew up in a media family. And so, I grew up, my father was one of Canada's top journalists for many years. And so I grew up in a family that at a time before there was social media and, smartphones and all that. But I learned a lot about sources and news stories and all that kind of stuff. And not that there hasn't always been a, creating news to cover element to news stories. There's always been a little bit of sensationalism and headlines and things like that. But in the era we live in today, it's especially on social media, it is not about, if there's no news to cover, people just make up news to cover. And it's like, so there could be something that might be happening. And, we heard this thing that might be, it could be, you never know, it could be happening. It's, apparently, it is, the 50th anniversary in 2 years. So, it's possible they could be doing, they got to be doing something. And that's all it is. Could be, shoulda, maybe, it could be. And it just catches on. Nothing is said. You've literally said nothing. There is nothing there. Of course there's rumors of course there's always chatter going on behind the scenes. Of course. But nothing.
And then you got my favorite people, as I read in the comment section, the comment experts.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Those are my favorite, dude. Did you see, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name, Billy, Smashing Pumpkins lead singer.
Oh yeah. He did an interview with John Carpenter.
Billy,
I've yet to watch it, but I want
Billy
to.
Corrigan?
Yeah.
I'm having trouble with names tonight, folks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just, without spoiling, it was really good. I watched it. It was very, very cool. There was one part to it where he does obviously bring up Halloween, and Carpenter's talking about the essence of Michael Myers. He's a little human. He's a little supernatural. But he has no backstory. Like that's what makes Michael Myers who Michael Myers is. Like that's the whole point of it. Fucking then all of a sudden you go into the comments section and you're just like, what are you talking about? He's got a backstory. He's got this. I'm like, holy fuck. Like
you got to remember Carpenter's talking about the movie he did.
Exactly.
Not all the movies that came after.
Right. We're talking about the first film and what Carpenter's intent was for Michael, not the dog shit crap we got afterwards.
That's right.
Like he's talking about what makes Michael Myers scary. And I agree with him is in that first movie, there is no motive. There is no rhyme or reason why he's killing Laurie and Annie. And yes, okay, you can say that because she showed up to the Myers house and he became fixated on her like an animal stalking its prey.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with that theory, but it's just essentially it's by happenstance. It could have been Annie who delivered the key and he was fixated on Annie.
That's right.
It's the way Carpenter wrote it, and that's just it. And you don't need more than that. You don't, well, he killed his sister. Yes, but that's, okay, if you're saying there's a backstory, then yes, okay, he kills his sister, but that's it. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. And, Loomis, as you have eloquently quoted many times, the speech sums it up in that speech, and that's it.
That is the speech. Yeah. Everything you need to know about Michael Myers is in that speech. Now, again, it's done because there was never supposed to be a sequel. You know, as I've said many times, he's gone at the end of the movie to reinforce the theme of the film, which is you can't kill the boogeyman. That's why Laurie begins not believing in the boogeyman. And then at the end, she says, it was the boogeyman. A la, holy shit, Tommy was right. And Dr. Loomis says, well, as a matter of fact, it was. And that's the full circle moment of her arc. And then when he looks over and he's gone, that just reinforces that moment. But of course, it became the highest grossing independent horror movie in motion picture history. So naturally, you know, they move on, but nobody thought it was going to do that. I just want to read this here. This was my Facebook post that I made on May 23rd about this exact thing. And this is what I find. So again, it's not that you can't cover rumors. I get that. I get that 100%. But it's sometimes these things get so much traction and are given so much weight and so much authenticity when really nothing has been said, and it's really just common sense because it's a slow news day. There hasn't been Halloween news. Well, let's create some news, right? And it can be incredibly frustrating. So I said, one thing that drives me nuts about a lot of these online movie rumor pages and scoop accounts is how much of it's vague, non-committal, that's important, non-committal nonsense. You'll see posts like this: a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot could potentially be returning in some form sooner rather than later. As sources indicate, there may be internal discussions and possible exploratory conversations happening behind the scenes regarding the future direction of the franchise, although nothing official has been confirmed at this time. Yeah. I literally have said nothing. There's literally nothing there. All I have said is, yeah, something could be happening. Well, no shit. Of course something probably is happening. There probably has been conversations. That, though, will get hits and likes and hearts and shares and videos made about it and all this kind of stuff. And and nothing's been said. And it could be another 2 years before anything happens anyway. This post says absolutely nothing. Listen, I get why in the modern age of social media and movie news sites, that this is done for clicks and likes and engagement. And so when something eventually comes true 3 years later, a lot of these people can point to an old article or post or video and say, see, we knew all along. These posts are specifically designed to be so vague that it's nearly impossible to be wrong. Studios are always discussing ideas internally. IP holders are always exploring possibilities. That doesn't mean that anything is actually happening. Where are the specifics? Who's involved? Writer, director, producer, what stage of development? Actual sourced information. There's a difference between covering the news and manufacturing the news to be covered. This is why there's still a huge difference between legitimate reporting you'd find in the major trades and the fluff rumor nonsense that just floods social media. The problem is that fluff rumor nonsense has a lot of power. One vague post gets shared around by people who don't know any better. Then other websites pick it up, then content creators start making videos about it, reacting to it, speculating on it, debating it, and suddenly there's an entire news cycle built around something that never actually said anything in the first place. Maybe it bothers me more than most because, as I said, I grew up in a media family, so I was raised understanding the difference between actual reporting and something could be possibly happening at some point down the road. Insert Dr. Chalice here. Stop it! There you go. That's what I wrote on May 23rd. And it's not that I'm not all for it. Listen, I've done rumor, speculative videos here before too. I love doing them. They're fun. You and I have done them. They're fun to do, but they have to be positioned that way. Hey, this is just, it's a rumor I'm hearing.
It's like a what if video. Basically.
It's a what if. It's 100% what it is. You know what I mean? When something is actively happening, you will have information as in, producer or director or writer or some form of stage of development. It's not unprecedented. It's a pretty safe bet to assume with the 50th year anniversary 2 years away that something's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's a pretty safe bet. Anyway. Yeah. I'll get off my soapbox now. Stevens5526 says, Friday Part 3 disco theme is fire. I agree. Good. I do agree. Yeah, 100%. 100%. For sure. Did I miss any other super chats or member chats? I don't think I did. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything before we wrap it up here soon. Let me go back and see. I don't think I did, though. Viewer activity. Did you hear about the new Halloween movie? Yeah, Friday Part 3 disco rumor. Brandon Collins. I'm 34 and on the Brady Bunch. Yep, no, I think we're good there. I think we are good there. Any last things anybody wants to say about Friday the 13th Part 6? I don't know. Fleetwood says 2 isn't bad though. I mean, yeah, but
My
it's still
second favorite final girl, Megan.
Yeah.
You know, next to Jenny.
Oh, in Part 6, you mean? Yeah.
Megan's Jennifer Cook, I think is her name.
Jennifer Cook, yes,
Yeah.
that's right. And of course, yeah. Oh, right.
Never came back either.
No, never came back. I think Vincent DeSanti had extended the invitation for her to be in Never Hike Alone.
She just don't
she declined. She declined. Yeah, she
bad.
declined. Yeah, it's too bad. But I think don't quote me on that, Vince. If you're watching, you can let us know in the comments. But I think that's true.
Yeah,
I'd say
I go Jeannie, and then Megan. I'm trying to think like for my final girls in that franchise, and then I guess Alice.
I think my favorite final girl is I like Ginny. She's good. Nobody likes Alice. No.
I know, no one does.
Nobody likes Alice.
It's like pulling teeth when I get to her. I'm like,
yeah.
But I mean, she's the original, and I'm just like, I gotta show her some respect, you know.
She's the original.
There's something about her that just like I was so glad Jason got her in the beginning of part 2. Like there was just something so satisfying about that. I don't know if that's like morbid or horrible to say. Like, but it's like, especially the way he does it. I'm like, yeah, bro, get her.
Yeah,
like, get her, man.
And with the screwdriver ice pick to the right in the temple. Yeah, which apparently didn't retract. I like Chris. Yeah, she's cute.
Good. Who's the girl from 4? I forget her name. Trish.
Yeah. Trish.
Yeah, she's good. I forget who's 5. I totally forget who's 5.
5 is like just a bunch of topless women. They're all
pretty much all. 5 is like porn. It's like Friday the 13th.
Well, it was directed by a porn director.
Yeah. So
right? I mean,
and then 7 obviously is Carrie. I don't call her by her real name. It's Carrie.
Right.
8, I think, is the first time it's no, because what's her name? 3 and the first are not blondes.
Yeah.
But they do have a lot of blondes in this franchise as final girls.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 5 is the teacher. That's right. Pam.
Right.
That's right.
That is right. The teacher. That's right.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. And then it's ooh, baby.
Who was the final
baby.
girl? Oh, well, I guess it really wasn't a final girl. It was a final guy in 9. It was a hybrid between the guy and the girl.
And really, it's a final guy in 6, if you think about it. It's Tommy Jarvis.
It's true. Tommy Jarvis is really the final guy in 6. And he's the one who's handling business.
It's not,
you know.
Yeah, it's him. It's all him.
But
yeah.
There's
a lot of, I mean, look, you know, Friday the 13th, folks, Friday the 13th Part 6 celebrates 80. Holy shit. 40 years this year. 40 years this year. Not yet.
We might, you know, it's very possible if we take care of ourselves, we could be doing an 80th anniversary.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
It's 40 years from now. We'll be 87.
Welcome to episode 9746, where we're talking about 2
geriatric dudes and some.
Oh yeah, fucking right, baby. 2 geriatric dudes with shrivelly penises talking
missing teeth and shit.
Talking about Friday.
That's crazy to think that, like, technically in our lifetime, if we again, God willing, we take care of ourselves, we could be around for the 80th.
It could be around for the 80th
anniversary of that movie.
80th anniversary of that movie.
Kind of. Well, I mean, look, Halloween's going to be 50th.
50 in 2 years.
Like
the big 50.
That's, you know, you're starting to get. I remember, like, back in the day, like certain movies that were, you know, movies that our parents grew up watching that were hitting those milestone numbers, you know, like Gone with the Wind or whatnot. It's kind of, I don't know, if you're younger than us, it just doesn't apply to you. But if you're in our age group, it's kind of weird how, like, time, like when you get to this part of life, because it's like very, like, I'm now like one of my aunt's sisters just passed away here.
Yeah.
I didn't know the woman very well, but like I'm in that stage of life now where things like that are going to be kind of become a common occurrence because you and I are going to be 50 in a couple of years, which that in itself is just
it's weird
to say. And like, and then thinking about the fact that you and I was telling Christina this the other day. I was like, it's crazy that Dave and I have been like, because I'm kind of, now that I've been back on YouTube for 2 months, there's a lot has changed and it's very different than what I'm used to. And then thinking like it's been 10 years almost since you and I started doing this. Like it doesn't
2018.
It doesn't feel like 10 years has gone by, but like 10 years, a decade of our life has almost gone fucking by doing this. That's bonkers. Well, I mean, you've essentially been doing YouTube for close to 20 years, right?
No, I've had the YouTube channel.
20 years, like 15 years.
I've had the YouTube channel for 20 years. And I would just upload little Halloween fan short, like 5-minute little short stuff.
Yeah, no, I remember those.
It wasn't until 2017, so almost 10 years, that I started doing this kind of thing, talking about movies and Halloween. And it was because of the Blumhouse announcement. So, yeah. But before that, I would just randomly upload dumb shit. I wasn't
Well, it's
doing,
kind of what YouTube was back then.
Right. Yeah.
There was no, like, when you and I were doing this at that time, I mean, you had like the John Campius type channels, with John Schnepp. That's a callback for those who remember him. He was a cool, I never met him, but like he seemed like he was a cool dude and knew his movies. But yeah, you had that kind of AMC, I think they were AMC. That was the name of them. And I used to watch them like all the time. I don't really watch it much anymore because I it's kind of like what's happened here. And you don't do this. Like I will say, you're not one of the YouTubers that falls into the, like, I'm just going to trash on a movie just to trash on a movie. Because it felt like that became like the trend. And then I go and watch the movie. I'm like, well, it wasn't that bad. I mean, is it the greatest movie ever? No, but was I entertained? Yeah.
Because it gets the anger gets, I mean, if there was a thumbnail of me like this, there's a thumbnail of me like this. And the headline is dog shit. You know how many people are going to be clicking on that? Do you know how many of the people in the chat room right now be like, holy fuck, I got to see what Dave's want to say about this? You know what I mean? I mean, it's to get people to, but it's manufactured fake outrage.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Because when me and you were doing it, or when I was in that part, we were authentic to what we felt like, whether it was a review or whatever it was we were talking about. If I don't like something, but I'm not going to, I never approached it to where like, I'm just going to shit on it just to shit on it. But it's just like, like even like it's crazy, dude. Like even now, like more my algorithm and what I post is more movie or music generated and following people who review gear and stuff like that. It's literally the same shit. Like people dogging on this gear or dogging on them. It's just like, what the fuck? Like it's just like, it's that rage bait, like, let me shit on this. And I don't like that shit. Like, it's why I don't really watch many people
I don't watch anybody
on this, because like, it just like, I can't sit through it. Like YouTube back in the day, and especially like early days of like authentic, genuine movie reviewers, I miss that because to me, it just felt more natural. And then we got into like what you just said here. And that's now the new thing. Like, let me just shit on this movie. And like you said, like, can I ask you a question? Cause since I've only been back on here for a couple of months. Why is it either people look like they've got something stuck up their ass in a thumbnail or, no, really, it's it. They just look like they look constipated. Like, what is with, like, why is that? I'm being genuine now because I don't know.
I mean, listen, I'm a strange, I guess if you want to call me a YouTuber, fine. I guess I don't really see myself that way, but I understand I do things on YouTube. And I guess if the litmus test is putting your face on YouTube, therefore you're a YouTuber and you create stuff people to watch. Well, I guess so. But I'm a weird sort of, because I'm not really like the kind of content creator that is dishing out, all this content. I have pivoted the last, while. It's because I've been busy, but also because I want to change things up a bit. I want to feel fresh. I mean, I've been doing the same thing for nearly 10 years and change is difficult. Some, people don't like change, but if, I'm trying to figure out the channel and try to, so I don't do those types of thumbnails. I don't.
Why is it like, how did it become like, seriously, they look like they've got something shoved up their ass or they're constipated.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I have no idea.
Someone said like, here, the stupid faces seem to work for algorithms. Like,
well, that's probably what it is then.
Why?
Yeah, well, because people are chasing, they're at the mercy of the algorithm, at the mercy of the clicks, and especially if you do it for a living. If you do it for a living and you depend on the money, then yeah, you've got to play the game.
That's where you and I. This is what I love about it is like, because my photography career is so stable, right. I can just have fun with the music. Like I don't have to, like, if I get it, like, I've had one video hit 20,000 views and I've had one recently here hit 60 views, you know, like, so, but like, I don't have to bank on it. Right. You know what I mean? Like I can just have fun with it. I can upload my mixes. I can upload my songs and like, I don't have to like, I love, because when I was doing it back then, what you just talked about, like, like there were a few videos that I made some money off of and whatever. And then like you quickly kind of fall in, you could see how quickly you could fall into that pattern and keep doing that.
Yes, of course. Of course.
And I didn't like that. I was like, whoa, that's not what I want to do. And I just like, and that's where I like stopped and I focused on my career and my career got stabled. And now I can just have fun. I get to, if I'm not doing a photo shoot, I'm playing around with music all day. Like that's essentially the life that I wanted to create for myself, where I don't care. And if there's more that comes out of the music, great, but there's no pressure, which is awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, because when I first, sprung onto the scene, obviously I had a lot of, rant videos and all this kind of stuff. And
you didn't, I mean, if you ranted, you weren't going,
no, it wasn't
like these knuckleheads out here that do it.
No. But some people might've thought that, like, again, I don't want to say I'm playing a character because then that makes it seem like I'm not being authentic. But I, as I've often said, like I'm hosting a show. And so my natural personality is, I go to the extreme, and I say, it's dog shit. And because it's fun to be theatrical. It's fun to be, I mean it. Like I mean that I'm not a fan of the movie. I don't like this. But it's performative, not in a disingenuous way. It's more in that sort of kind of fun, like you're hanging out with your buddies, how you normally speak kind of way. And so, and I think maybe some people thought that, that's just how I was always going.
Serious, right?
Well, but that's how I was always going to be with everything. I mean, when I said I liked Halloween 18, I didn't love it, or that I was lukewarm on Kills or even Ends. Oh, you're just a Blumhouse shill. I'm a Blumhouse shill. I don't know Jason Blum. I don't go to press screenings. I don't get invited to shit. What do you think? I'm a Blumhouse shill. What advantage do I have to saying that I thought Halloween Ends was not as bad as everybody says it was? I don't think it's good. I don't think it should have been what it should have been. I've already talked about all this. I don't need to go into it now. But it's just so funny how people
way to describe Dave, that comment right there. It's like wrestling. You turn up your personality to 11. So correct. It's almost like
correct. That's a good way to describe it.
That's a very good way to describe because that's how I've always taken your videos.
Yes.
Like because like when I talk to Dave do you think Dave's like that when we're talking? Like, no, it's just normal.
No.
Like if Dave
do you think I'm like that?
If Dave was like that in normal conversation, I'd be like, bro, you all right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you've ever met me in person, you'd probably know, oh, he's not like that. He's just, just normal.
But people don't. The problem is people only see you for the time frame that you're here. So they think like, well, that's what Dave must be like in real life. And it's like, No.
And that's understandable. And then people develop a parasocial relationship, right? They think they know you because you're in their living rooms and you're on their, smartphones and they listen to you all the time. And so they feel a connection to you, which is amazing. I think that's amazing. I love that. But then there are those that develop that parasocial sort of, relationship where they think they know everything about you and what makes you tick and want to go on vacation with you or something. And so, but that happens. It happened to people back in the day on TV. People would develop parasocial relationships with an evening news anchor because they're in their living room every night or and then it just graduated to YouTube and internet and, online personalities. And so that can happen too. But I think that's a great way to describe it. I don't know who said that, but whoever it was,
Scott Beckett, 3061.
Yeah, that's a great way to say. Yeah,
that really is to describe like when you see that hyper. Dave,
I'm playing
dialing it up.
I'm playing host Dave, right? I'm hosting. I'm like, hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome. Well, Halloween Ends is here. I mean, do you think I talk like that? And hey, how's it going, buddy? So did you see Halloween Ends? It's fucking incredible. I mean, no, I'm hosting a show. I'm on the air, right? And I want to make it exciting.
Like that, my first response to you would be like, send me some of that cocaine, man, because Jesus, you are amped.
Oh, I was amped, baby. Yeah. I was amped all the way. But that's what it's, and I enjoy doing that. And I don't feel bad because I know it's authentic. I know I'm being my genuine self. It's how I would talk if we were hanging out together, like, with a bunch of friends, we were like, oh, did you see it? I bring that level of personality to the show.
Well, yeah, it's part of your persona.
So it's part of the persona. Exactly. But what I will not do is I will not hate on a movie because it's the hot hip thing to do. And
that's all
I won't do that.
Became. And it's like, it's just everywhere. It's like I just the other day was just looking up some new synthesizers that I want to get my hands on. And it's just like, this negative or this negative. I'm just is it really though? Like I'm just starting to see it's just everywhere, whether it's with movies reviews.
It's business now, right?
Right. It's just it's business to but then at the same time, that can't be good for the product. You're shitting on the product or the movie or whatever or whatnot. Like this person here, Josh McKenna, he sent in a super chat for $1.99. He said, I doubt Supergirl is a dumpster fire like some people say. You're probably right. Now, I'm not going to go see it, but I'll see it when it, HBO Max drops it here in a couple of months. I'll watch it, but because I don't really go to the movies unless there's a movie that I really want to see. Then I'll go see it. Yeah. However, I will say, and I really wish I did see this on the big screen because me and her just watched it. If you guys have never seen this, it's on Amazon Prime, Project Hail Mary with.
I haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's amazing.
So fucking good.
Yeah, I
mean, so we don't get these kinds of really good storytelling movies anymore. Mm-hmm. So I genuinely appreciated that from that, creative idea. And I know it's based on a book, which I haven't read the book yet, but I'm going to read it. But it was just so fucking cool. And so when people complain, there's no new, no, we do have them. I'm guilty for it. I wish I had gone and seen this in the theater to support it in the theater, which I didn't. And,
well, that's okay. I mean, you still saw it, right?
But but you hear that complaint, the reason why people aren't going to the movies anymore is because there's no good movies out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. It's just sometimes you got to put a little bit more of an effort. And I know that there's some movies that I let accidentally get by me that I shouldn't have, but life comes up and you don't mean to or whatever and whatnot. And,
for sure. But no, I mean, it's big business now. The culture war. The angry YouTuber is big business. And people like to feel validated. They like to feel part of a community. It's that, that tribal sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? The groupthink, right? And it's a version of that. And that's not to say that there aren't legitimate, things that people have, but there are channels that's all they do. Their identity is to tear apart films. And so once that becomes your identity and that's what you live in, part of the problem with that is the reason why they're not to be trusted is because if your sole identity is tearing apart films, that's just, you look at your catalog of videos and that is what you do. The problem with that is that if you really did like a movie, you would be afraid to say it. Yep. You may not think you'd be afraid to say it, but if you spend your days and weeks and videos and manpower and hours tearing apart films, in a lot of cases, before they've even gone to camera, before they've even been shot. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of movies that just get ripped apart because of casting or who the director is or just the fact that they're being made at all. And so a lot of the times these movies don't have a hope in hell of winning over this kind of YouTuber. And so, I'm suspicious that even walking into that kind, why would you go see it? And so when they come out and say, it was shit, it's like, well, of course, even if they thought it was okay, they couldn't tell you. And they couldn't tell you because they have thousands, sometimes millions of viewers waiting on their bated breath of, it was garbage. And then all the viewers go, yeah, that's right. Yeah. You know what I mean? And some of them haven't even seen the movie themselves. And that's part of the problem. That's why I went and saw Barbie and I come on here and I go, I liked it. I thought it was actually really hilarious. I couldn't give a frog's fat ass if anybody agrees with me or not. That is my honest opinion on the film. I don't think it's the greatest movie ever made, but I thought it was actually kind of funny. Everybody knows I'm a huge
Barbie?
Avatar fan.
Oh, Avatar. I thought you said Barbie.
No, I did say Barbie. Barbie. Yeah. I thought it was funny. I just thought I laughed. It made me laugh. And Avatar. Everyone knows I'm a huge Avatar fan. Yeah, I'm Knuff. I'm Knuff. Yeah. But so like, I don't really care. And so I have to be truthful to myself because if I'm not, then what the fuck am I doing? I'm not here to confirm what you like. I'm here to confirm what I like and see if you feel the same way. And if you don't feel the same way, well, no, that's fine. If you do, then great. But I'm not here to tell you, what to think. And so, but if you're in the business, if it's your job and you've built an identity, and part of it too is if you start a small YouTube channel and you're kind of just talking trash and talking smack and talking movies, and then all of a sudden you blow up, and all of a sudden you look back and you go, oh my God, I now have 4.5 million, subscribers. I'm getting 500,000 views on every, video. It's you have to keep this thing up now. It's like I'm just the angry YouTube guy. I gotta hate everything now. Fuck Marvel. Fuck DC. Fuck Star Wars. Fuck Kathleen Kennedy. Fuck this. Fuck that. Fuck that. I mean, you just got to keep it up. And I mean, that must be exhausting. And it's not that they don't have points. It's not that there's some things I hear some people say where I go, that's a good point. But to live in that world, must be just, oh my God, I couldn't live in a world where it's just negative all the time.
Well, there's two parts to that. Not only that, but it's funny that we're talking about this because I was just talking with her about this. That I don't want my channel to get super over the top.
Yeah.
If I could have enough to where there's enough people that like the mixes or like the original music that I'm doing, they vibe out to it on Spotify or whatever. That's where I kind of want to be, because once you start getting more to the popular side of it, that's when you start to get a lot of hate. And then all of a sudden what you're doing, which is intended to be like what I'm doing right now, is intended to be fun. And it's a way for another creative way for me to express myself creatively, especially now that I've gotten back into playing the piano and creating my own songs and stuff but I see a lot of these popular channels and I'm just like, yikes, there's just so much
because
anger.
Now there's expectations. There's expectations.
Anger from people. Why are people so hostile towards these people? Do you know them? I sit there and ask these questions.
Well, did you see the post I made, was it last week of the guy that Did you see the post? Did you not see it?
Well, I'm not on Facebook.
No. It was in my YouTube community.
See, I'm still
Section
learning.
post.
Like so there's a post part to this too, right? That you can post.
Oh yeah.
I'm still kind of figuring all that.
Listen to this, okay? Listen to this. All right. This is from Myers Man 92. All right, I'm just going to say it. This channel sucks now. No Halloween talk, no McCrae lives, no rankings or best and worst of. You just seem more interested in your own career than anything else. I thought you were fucking a YouTuber. I think he meant a fucking YouTuber, but okay. You're clearly not. We were lied to. We deserve better. Then content creators start making videos about shut we want. I have no idea what the hell that was supposed to mean. No one cares about your supposed VO career, or movie making stuff. Shut the fuck up and get back to Halloween. You've said nothing about the game. I'm out. Poo in a bucket, yo. Poo in a bucket, yo? What happened to you, man? Shake my head.
Well, like, I mean, again,
what?
So like,
here's the thing. Just unsubscribe. Just unsubscribe and leave. That's it.
Not only that, but like, even people I know personally, I never get that upset with. Like I'll disagree with people.
I know. Do I owe this guy money or something?
Right. Like, it's just like, why are you so angry, man?
Yes.
Like,
why?
I mean, like, dude, I mean, yes, like I get it. Okay, he could be doing videos talking about the game, but like,
yes.
Aside from that, it's just like, what do you want him to do? To just keep recycling, talking about the same stuff that he's talked about for the last 15 years?
It's so
like,
funny.
I mean, like, I mean, I'm being genuine. Like,
I know. I'm just laughing at his. Yeah.
Is that what people expect? Like, I mean, like, thank God, dude. I could not. I'm glad I got out of it. This is the most, like, because people ask if I'm ever going to put myself on camera on my channel. Probably not. I mean, maybe some side shots of me doing synthesizer things as I'm exploring that stuff.
Flexing your bicep, peak triceps.
Not even that. Like,
come on, man. Yeah.
No, this is
pectoral flex. Pectoral flex.
When I do this with you, this is the only time I show where I want to show up. Of course. It's because it's really not about me. It's more about, like, look, I make this. If you like it, great. Enjoy it. That's it. Like, I don't need to sit there and put myself in, like, I see some of these DJs, man, or musicians put themselves in front of the camera. Like, there's this one guy I saw recently. He's in his house and he's DJing and he's got sunglasses on, and I'm like, like,
it's part of his shtick. Look, I mean,
I'm not hating. It's just like,
if you feel that way, if you're disappointed because I stopped the McCrae lives, you can ask. And I've mentioned this already. Why did you stop the McCrae lives? I've already said about this. Well, the reason I did is because I did 365 of them, and I tracked my, according to my analytics, according to my, the who's tuning into what and who's tuning into where. And, if I'm not talking Halloween, if I'm not talking, Elm Street or Scream, the viewer dip is significant. And so if you think of this like a television show, right, or a rating show, right, I've got the executives coming into my office saying, hey, your ratings are down unless we're talking Halloween. But we can't just, there's only so much we can do. There's only so much. So, and that doesn't mean that people who watch have to tune into everything, not at all. But this is just a reality of this kind of thing. And so if the viewer, like if I'm talking Halloween, I'll get 148 people watching. If I'm talking cinematic language and movie making, I might get 48 people watching. Well, I can't, like, it's not worth my time, at that point. Right. And so, and then, so I have to, and I did 365 shows, and I thought, well, I want to evolve the channel. It's still in flux right now. It's still evolving. Right. And so that's all it is. It's just change. Change can be difficult. Absolutely. Change is hard. People don't like change. I get it. But if I'm not having a good time, then what am I doing? Right. I mean, I got to feel fresh. I got to feel excited about, stuff. And you, if it's not for you, that's okay. You can just leave. You don't have to send me messages. You don't have to yell and scream. And, like they say, it's not an airport, you don't have to tell me you're leaving or you're departing. I mean, you just go, oh, you know what? It's not what I want anymore. So I'm out. That's it. I don't write those messages to anybody I watch on YouTube. If their channel changes or if they're not doing what I like, I just don't tune in. It's just, I don't feel this need to let me know because I don't care. You say, whoa, but you shared it. You cared. No, but that's not me caring. That's me showing what an idiot you are. I mean, that's all that is, you know? So look, it's people evolve, people change. I've been doing the same thing for 10 years. And so it's important that, you know, and again, it's still in flux, but oh man, there were people that were so angry. I mean, you'd think they were so angry. It's unbelievable.
I think a big reason why our show is still going. And I think it's the right formula.
It's a staple of the channel. It's one of the flag shows on the channel.
Well, that, and I think what we do is, and I think and we don't do it intentionally, but it does work, is we also, we found a way to like space it out and come back, space it out and come back. So we're not burnt out either.
That's right.
You know, so it always stays fresh so that when Dave and I are here, we're giving you our best and we're not just like, all right, well, what, you know,
that's it.
You know, because you can fall into that pattern of like, we got to do it every single week. We got to do it.
That's right.
And next thing you know, you're not producing, good content and stuff like that or whatever, because because essentially that's the pattern you can fall into with YouTube is like, you're thinking like, all right, what can we do next? Because, I don't think Dave and I ever want to get to a point where it's just like, well, we're forcing it, or it's just like, we're doing a show just to freaking do it. Because
listen, if there's nothing to talk about, there's nothing to talk about.
That's
it. Sometimes it's just that, what is. I mean, Tony and I have done 212 of these shows.
Not many.
That's a lot.
Not many people do that.
Think about that. Between the McRae Lives, that's 365. And then you had another 212 of the two dudes. That's what, 577? Is that right? I think I got that right.
There's not many YouTubers that do that.
That's 577 live shows between two dudes and McRae Live, plus all the other live shows I've done on my channel, that aren't part of that. So maybe you add another 200 or 300. There's over 800 live shows on this channel, which is insane. It's a lot of content. Well, for sure.
We do need the support from the viewers as well too, because
Dave
and I have talked about so many different ideas that we know we could do and talk about. Like we talked about doing a serial killer run and talking about Night Stalker and John Wayne Gacy and all. But we don't know if Dave and I are going to invest our time, because it is our time to prepare for things like that.
That's right.
Because now if you're going to talk about real life stuff, like you want to be somewhat educated and know what you're talking about. But if we're not going to get the support, and like Dave says, we're going to get 5 people showing up watching, well, it's like, well, we just did all this work for what? You know what I mean? So that's why and then yes, I get it. People want us to talk about Halloween and stuff, but I mean, I'm not playing the game because I'm not a gamer. So Dave, I know, is going to play the game. Now I'll be happy to hang out with him and watch him play, and it'll
be fun for sure.
Like I'm not a gamer, and I'm not going to force myself to be a gamer because it's just, I'm not a gamer. But
well,
I certainly am curious. I'd like to see it. The animation looks really, really cool. And
it looks a lot. It looks like a lot of fun.
So, but you want us to talk about Halloween, but there's what?
Yeah, exactly.
We're down to now we're down to well, let's talk about Loomis's loafers in Halloween 1.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Did you like his tie in Halloween 1 or Halloween 4?
Right. Yeah. It's just, I was at a point where I thought, okay, it's not that I don't understand it. I sprung onto the scene as the Halloween guy. That's what people know me as. That's what they're really excited about. I totally get it. And if it was a little bit of a dip, then it, wouldn't be such a big deal. But anytime I don't talk about not just Halloween, but I'd say the main sort of slasher titles, there's a significant drop, not just in live viewers, but in overall viewership. And so that's just analytics. That's just, again, if this was a network television, if the show would eventually be canceled just because nobody's tuning in, nobody cares unless you're talking about this. And that's not I don't want that. I want to, I don't mind if it's not quite Halloween numbers, but if I talk Halloween and I have 150 people that are watching, but I talk about something else and only 48 people are watching, that's a gigantic drop. That's a massive drop. And that's not something that I feel is sustainable long-term. And so, sometimes you got to make changes and you got to shake things up a little bit and make people kind of perk up a little bit. You know what I mean? It's just natural. Everybody does it on here. You have to do it.
Well, exactly. And you have to understand to make two dudes and some bullshit to clarify the concept of this show. was that it was an open source show where Dave and I could talk about everything. Because like someone says here that there's a lot of horror movies we can talk about, what we choose not to. It's not a question of choice. It's just like there's more to me than watching horror movies.
Right.
And that's the part you guys don't like. Like, I don't want to, like, I don't devote my entire life to watching horror films. There's a lot of other movies that I enjoy watching and would love to sit here and talk about with Dave or you know, like do a talk, you know, about Project Hail Mary with Dave. But Dave and I both know exactly what the outcome of that's going to be.
Oh, nobody's going to tune into that.
No one's going to tune into it. So,
no,
you know, it just,
and that's their right. That's their right. That's their right.
Just like it's our right to choose whether or not we want to watch a bunch of horror films, you know, that's our right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, it's about balance. It's about managing expectations of what the viewers expect of you, and also bringing more of you into it and hoping they stick around and go, yeah, okay, let's hear what these guys have to say about this, or let's hear what they have to say about that. Right. It's about that balance. And sometimes that's a fine line and, you know, a tricky thing to walk, you know, it can be a bit tricky. Are you there? I'm here.
Okay. But I agree. And there's, cause we would talk about Godzilla so much stuff. And sometimes people just,
even like, you know, cause you had made that post a while back. Like, I got super excited about that, cause that's really my wheelhouse. Like the whole, like, conspiracy theories and UFOs and all that, like Bigfoots and Loch Ness monsters. Like, I love just talking about that shit. Yeah. But like, you know, again, if we do our research and we do our work and we put the, like, is it something that people are going to tune into and want to like listen to and whatever and whatnot? Because that's what, like, I think that's what we're trying to say is that, you know, with our show, the idea I think Dave and I had with it initially was like, we knew Halloween was going to be kind of the anchor that brought us all together, you know, but we were hoping through the years, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't clicked that, you know, hey, we're more than just Halloween. You know what I mean? We're more than just Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or, you know, this, that, and another. But like when we talk about other topics, y'all don't show.
Yeah. Well, and when we say y'all, we mean,
which is why you end up getting these long gaps too between the shows, which also is good because we come back fresh
for sure,
and whatnot. But you know,
and again, to be fair, it's anybody's right to not tune into something they don't want to watch. I mean, I don't tune into every podcast. You know, there's podcasts that I watch, but if they're talking about a topic I'm not particularly interested in, I don't tune into it, just as people wouldn't tune in to us. The difference is that because their podcasts are so large and so big that, you know, when people don't tune into them, there's still a lot of people tuning into them. Right. Exactly. For us, because I'm a channel of only 30,000 subscribers, when you notice that difference much more drastically because it's such a smaller channel. I mean, if I was Joe Rogan, you know, who had millions of subscribers, and some of his maybe his conspiracy theory shows on aliens get 5 million views, and something on I don't know King Tut's something or other only gets 2 million.
And Trump comes on there and it blows up the fucking world.
Right. But you look at that. So this one has 5 million. This one has 2 million. If you think about it logically, that's 3 million less views, but that's still 2 million views. Do you know what I mean? So when you're a gigantic channel, you know, you have that freedom to talk about anything and not really care who tunes in, because there's always so many people tuning in regardless, even if people aren't tuning into everything. But when you're a smaller channel, it's much more noticeable when people don't tune in. And so it's just about balance. It's about finding that balance and walking that
freshness
you know,
and newness into it too. Like the watch-alongs. Yeah, I agree with Chester. Dude, the watch-alongs.
Yeah, they were great. They were fun.
But like, again, you know, you don't want to, like, we're not going to spend 10, 15, 20 years just watching movies, you know, like watching, like, and plus I think where Dave and I felt as fun as they were, it also limits us too, because we don't want to talk during the movie. Yeah. And so essentially, you know, we have a movie or a stream that could turn into a 4-hour stream. And I don't have I don't
That's
have
right.
that kind of time. Dave doesn't have that kind of
Yeah.
time. So, and I think we kind of we hit all the movies that we knew we were going to do to watch along too. So, I mean, sure, maybe in a couple years from now, with Halloween turning 50,
well, of course, there's going to be so much to talk about over the next couple of years. Of course.
Right. So maybe that's something where Dave and I might say, why don't we just do another Halloween watch along? Because it's the 50th anniversary. So it'll be like things like that. I could see us doing. When like there's something monumental like as celebrating the 50th anniversary of Halloween.
That's it.
But like to do it like every week or to do it even like on a monthly, it's time.
Well, you want to save the big Halloween stuff unless there's massive news that breaks in March. You want to save the big Halloween stuff for the spooky season for September, October, right? So it makes perfect sense that way. But listen, this was a good show. This was a good show tonight, talking some Friday the 13th. Really appreciate everybody who tuned in tonight. You guys are amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Folks, if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section and let Tony and I know your thoughts on Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, or anything Tony and I had to talk about here today. But specifically the main topic of the show, which is Friday the 13th, Part 6, celebrating 40 years. 40 years this year. Is it your favorite Friday movie? Is it your least favorite? Is it anybody's least favorite out there? I don't even think I've heard that before, but maybe it is. Maybe it's somebody's least favorite. I don't know. Jump into the comment section and let Tony and I know your thoughts. We'll be back soon with another episode of Two Dudes. Really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you to the super chats. Thank you to my moderators. You're amazing. Thank you to people who watched live. You're all amazing. You know you are. And Tony, any last things you'd like to say?
No, I just shared a link to my new song.
Amazing.
Give it a listen to. I think if you guys, it's also on Spotify. So if you don't want to listen to it on YouTube and you want to dial it up and listen to it on a good sound speaker, it's on Spotify. You're going to hear a lot. You're going to know I was very inspired by the Halloween theme for this song. It's very aggressive arpeggios that I do throughout the song. So check it out. If you like the Halloween theme, you're probably going to like this a lot.
Cool.
It's called Ominous.
Yeah, and make sure to subscribe to Tony's YouTube channel as well, where he's doing all that music. Don't forget to do that and show your support. All right, folks, have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon. All righty. Cheers.